Hi, my name is Polk-Payton, and I am doing my fourth video blog based on my book called This Has Been a Public Service Announcement. If you want to know what the cover of the book looks like, it looks like this, and you should be able to pick that up in most stores, especially online stores, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You should be able to pick it up. I did my radio show last night, and I really enjoyed myself, and I kind of filtered over into relationships and love while I was talking about some of the things that women should pay attention to when they are spending time with their man and learning their man, and what his wants and his needs are, and so that she can do what she needs to do to fulfill those. And so I decided that I was going to do my next blog on love, just love. There's so many things that I could say about love. There's so many different types of love. I'm sure if you've been to church, you know about the brotherly love, the eros love, which is for the love that you feel for someone that you have a romantic affinity for, or the familiar love, where you have the love that you have for your children, your parents. There's so many different types of love that you can experience, but the kind of love that I'm going to focus on today is the romantic love, the eros love. But one of the things that people have to keep in mind when they think about love and when they seek love is the fact that love comes with a price. Grief is the inevitable price that you pay for loving someone, because human beings are flawed. They may be emotionally flawed and hurt you because somebody hurt them, and you are a victim of a revenge kill, even though your intentions were pure, and their intentions may have been pure, but they just didn't know how to give you what you wanted because they weren't emotionally ready. They're emotionally flawed, so they end up hurting you that way. Human beings can be mentally flawed, and there's nothing you can really do about that. And it hurts you because you're trying so hard to reach out and help somebody who really doesn't know how to want to be helped until they deal with their mental issue. And then, of course, there's the physical flaws that people have. My mother died when I was 2 months pregnant with my son, and that's a time when a woman needs her mother the most. And my mother would have never willingly left me pregnant and knowing how badly I wanted my mother to be with me when my son was born. But her body was physically flawed, and she couldn't stay. Her body would not let her stay, but I feel her presence with me, every time I hug my son, the way she hugged me, and I feel my father's presence every time I go to work when I don't feel like going to work. So, the things that people you love leave with you will be with you forever, whether they hurt you because of their physical flaws, whether they hurt you because of their emotional flaws, or if they hurt you because of their mental flaws. That's just a part of life. One of my PSAs in my book, my first PSA in my relationship chapter, is what I told a woman who asked me, how did I know that I was in love? And believe it or not, I was real grown the first time I really felt this. So, and usually, people say that loving someone is a choice. And sometimes when you are grown enough to know the risks and you still fall in love, when you're a little girl, kids don't try to break their fall. They just fall, and they don't worry about whether they're going to be hurt by it or anything like that. They just fall, and then they get back up and do it again. But when you know the risks that are involved in falling in love with someone and you let yourself fall anyway as an adult, it just takes a lot longer to get over it. The bounce back is not as quick, and it's not as easy. And so she asked me, how did I know that I was in love? And this was my answer to her. I'm gonna read it. So excuse me that I'm not looking at the camera right now, but I'm gonna read it to you. I knew I was in love when I wanted to be with him whenever I wasn't. When I woke up every day and smiled at the thought of him, even when he wasn't there, because his essence constantly surrounded me. When I didn't want to go to sleep when I was with him, because my reality with him was better than my dreams. When his friendship meant so much to me that he was as irreplaceable to me as my family. When I loved to listen to him snore in my ear because it was evidence that he was still breathing and that I was close enough to hear it. When I was mad with him, but I still made it my business to make sure he had everything he needed. When hearing his ringtone made the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. When he walked into the room and I simply couldn't wait for him to touch me. When his problems became my problems. When his faults became what made him unique to me. And I wanted him in spite of and because of his faults. When I knew that there was absolutely nothing that I wouldn't do for him. And when I knew without any doubt in my mind that I wanted him to be holding one hand and my son Kobe to be holding the other when I took my last breath. That's when I knew that I was no longer infatuated, but I was in love. When you experience that kind of emotional connection to someone as an adult, it's kind of deep. So you have to be very, very careful who you give that kind of emotion to. It's really, because once you give it away, it's just really hard to get it back. And it will affect you. And so many times people try to use someone else to get over someone. But when you felt the way that I described in this PSA about another person, there's nobody who can fill that void other than that person. So you end up damaging someone else because of the fact that you weren't ready to give them the kind of love that they wanted to give to you. And so we have to just be very, very careful and make sure that we not only protect ourselves, but we protect those other people around us who want to be in our presence, but we're not ready to receive them. It's better for you to be upfront in the beginning and tell them, I'm not ready. I can tell that you're ready for something that I'm not ready for. So I'm going to back off. And I would suggest you do the same. If anything changes, then, maybe we can try this again. A young man called into my radio show last night, and he said that a lot of times men don't mean to hurt women. A lot of times women just try to steer relationships where we want them to go. And sometimes that man may not just be ready to give you everything that you want. And because of that, you end up hurt over it, or he acquiesces and gives you everything that you thought you wanted, but because he wasn't ready to give it to you, it's like immature. It's not complete. It's always going to be something missing. He's not going to give you back the kind of affection that you want to give him, even though he doesn't want to lose you. He's still not ready to give you what you need. So that's why it's so important, ladies, for us to allow a man to lead us where he wants the relationship to go. You got to be willing to follow a man's lead. He may not lead the relationship anywhere because the relationship wasn't meant to go anywhere. You really have to be careful about that, because when you try to fix it, and women, we have a nurturing spirit and we want to fix things. We want to believe that if we nurture this enough, if we love this enough, then, the tough exterior will wear down after a while, and tender loving care will make this be what I want it to be. No, love is not supposed to be difficult. Love is supposed to be something that is mutual and something that is two people wanting to give to each other. Okay, like I told you in my last 3 blogs that I wrote, I am not in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship in a very long time. And I've learned some things about relationships, which I'll probably go over that, in my next blog. But Last year on Valentine's Day, I wrote a letter to this man that I haven't met, and it's like sometimes you can love the promise of someone. It may be the potential you see in someone who is not where you want them to be, or it may be somebody that you've never even met. But you have to understand what goes along with that. If you give this kind of affection to someone, you have to be mature enough to deal with what kind of commitment goes along with that. So anyway, this is the letter that I wrote on Valentine's Day. Oh, look, it's not really to him. It's kind of describing him, this man that I'm waiting for, the man that I'm waiting for him to find me. Because, ladies, that's another thing. We cannot look for a man. We have to make ourselves available to be found, but we don't need to look for a man. The Bible says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. He didn't say when a woman finds a man. He said when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So don't look for a man. Just make yourself available to be found, and don't audition with your body for the role of wifey when he hasn't given you any indication that you're even being considered to play that role. So just be very, very careful. Anyway, this is the description of my Valentine. I love my Valentine. He's tall, corn-fed, and handsome. Yeah, he's fine, but he doesn't let the call of other women distract him from his good woman, because he knows that one prime steak is better than 12 tacos any day of the week. He never shuts down on me or leaves me confused with words and actions that don't match. He always gives me consistent honesty, respect, and communication, even when he doesn't know exactly what to say, because he knows that I'll always listen to him. He is a strong man. He's a leader. He's a lover, a protector, and a provider. My happiness is his mission, and my smile gives him a great sense of accomplishment. He is proud of my accomplishments, but he's not obsessed with them, because he only wants me for me. He is not seeking pecuniary gain or status through me. He's never jealous of my blessings, because he knows that I always use my blessings to bless others, and he knows that he's at the front of the line. He doesn't compete with me to prove himself, because he is sure of who he is as a man. He is never intimidated by my popularity, because he knows that all the outside attention in the world could never forget how to love and respect my man with all my heart, my mind, my body, and my spirit. He knows I'm a woman who understands my design by God, and that I am meant to undergird my man as he leads me by any means necessary. So instead of fearing my strength, he lovingly harnesses my strength to be used for the good of us. He knows that whether I'm a janitor or a judge, I understand my role as a woman to my man. I can't wait to meet him so I can tell him how I feel. So ladies, even if you haven't met the man of your dreams, prepare for him. And you never know. You might meet him at Walmart. You might meet him at church. You might meet him on a girls' night out with your friends. You may be on vacation when you meet him. You never know when you're going to meet him. So the best thing to do is be available to be found. So don't waste your time and spin your wheels on a relationship, a situationship that's not going anywhere. If you know it's not going anywhere, then remove it from your life, because it's a hindrance. Men who aren't supposed to be in your life will block the path that the man of your dreams has to take to get to you. And be realistic, ladies. I mean, every man is not perfect. Like I said, people are mentally, physically, and emotionally flawed. And, but like I said in my description of knowing when I was in love, the flaws of the person you love is what will make them unique to you. They don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying lower your standards or your expectations, but just be willing to meet him somewhere in the middle. Don't be too harsh. Don't be too judgmental. And don't be too exclusive. And you never know. So anyway, I think that's about all I want to say today. I got a lot of work to do, and but I wanted to go ahead and get my blog recorded before I got started doing other things and got distracted. So I hope you have a wonderful week. It's hump day. The week is almost over, and I hope that you have a great weekend. I will come back with another blog on Sunday. Have a great day.